Hello and welcome to another review. This time we're looking at the Euro 4000 diesel electric locomotives by independent company Sudexpress. And as you can see, I have two of the models. One is the Comsa, which is Spanish/Portuguese operator, and in the background is slightly earlier edition, the Norwegian Cargonet. So let's take a look. Alright, so a couple of words about the packaging. And this is going to be probably the only one rare occasion when I'm going to spend any time on the packaging at all. As you can see right away, this is plastic, highly detailed premium model. And the packaging is designed to protect your investment on the way to you. So you have a very nice hard shell box with all the drawings. And the locomotive is actually fully detailed and is actually wedged inside the box and locked with two blocks of foam on each side. And it's kind of important to know as you unpack the product, you have to remove these blocks first and then try to slide the model out. What I would encourage is, if you are planning to use this model quite often, it's going to be only a matter of time before you see some small parts laying or left out at the bottom of the box. It already happened to me a couple of times, so I highly recommend to transfer this model into display case or some type of intermediate storage. Gorgeous packaging, fantastic. The model is coming with 6 pouches of inside the box. A couple of pamphlets, multilingual, with the description. The history of the locomotive is actually quite interesting. Highly recommend to go through it. It's pretty much US inspired diesel locomotive wrapped in European shell, and then whole bunch of small parts. Actually there's a lot of them. Small parts, however, interestingly enough, all the parts are pretty much, on 99.9% of them are already pre-installed, and most of the parts are simply spares. The only two parts that are not installed by factory are the photo-etched windshield wipers and the side mirrors. As you can see, they are still missing here on the Comsa locomotive. Now in the 6 pouches you have standard couplers, 2 axles, 2 sets of drivers without traction tires, and you have a choice either using the full metal wheels, or there are 2 sets of wheels with traction tires. You can remove them. Here's a set of all the parts from the front end of the locomotive, all the electrical connectors and railings. Second set, an alternative set of front guards and plows. Included air hoses and side mirrors, as well as the windshield wiper. Large size baffle for a speaker with screws, and you can also see the harness inside. So depends on the type of the decoder and your installation, you can either just plug in the decoder or use the harness provided with the locomotive, which is very nice touch. And second set of side railings and photo etched steps here on the corners. So fantastic, because this is highly detailed model, as you can see, and I'm sure we all been in a situation when you lose or break one of the parts and then it's a struggle to find them. You have the whole set included in the model. From detail standpoint of view, there's not much to say. I'll let you guys just enjoy the view. All the air intakes, fans, and the lifting eyelets here are see-through. They're not just two-dimensional injection molded, they are separately added pieces here. I hope you can see it better now. The handles here on the roof panels are see-through as well and separately added. And These steps here on the front are see-through photo etched. There's a spare set of them included with the model. What is also impressive about these models is not only the quality and quantity of details, but also the attention to prototypical execution of differences between the models. These are not just the same shells painted in different paint schemes. You can clearly see at the front some significant differences. Look at these panels here, the arrangements of lights here on the top, halogen lamps. There's also different arrangements of headlights at the bottom. There's another set of markers added here for the Norwegian model. And on the rooftops you can see there are some significant differences as well. There's a missing component on the Norwegian model here, and the arrangements of the air inlets is completely different as well. So these two grids looks like they're the same, but this grill is different. Okay, with the inclusion of an additional set of front guards or the plows here, you have two options, of course, which is almost like an industry standard nowadays for premium models. You can set up either the prototypical full-size guard or plow, or the one that I have here on the Spanish unit, where you have an opening for front coupler, and then you can operate the model either bi-directional or just one way. This is the short coupling interface right there. You can see it here, the small square, and you have two options: either plug in the full-size plow or guard like this one, or second execution looks like this. And I apologize for this ugly standard HO couplers here. So the coupler goes into the interface and then under or between the plow and the frame. The executions of the bogies and the side frames and the suspension is one of the best I've ever seen in commercial model. It's just phenomenal. What is also interesting is, I don't know how well you can see it, is the side frames are suspended independently, spring-loaded from actual drive, which allows the drive to move without the restriction for some of the parts which are very close to the body. This is a much better view. You can see all of this is pivoted independently. The first and the last axle in the model is equipped with traction tires. You have a second set of wheels included with the model, as mentioned earlier, with the gears, and they are all full metal wheels. You can replace them if you wish not to use the traction tires, you can. The wheels are also low profile flanges from European standard standpoint of view, and according to Sudexpress, these models are capable of operating on low profile rails all the way to code 70. And this is the Cargonet edition, exactly same drive, independent suspension. All 6 axles are powered, and the pickup from all 12 wheels. You can see the electrical wipers right behind the wheels. Alright, so let's take a look inside. This is industry standard snap-on shell on both sides. There's 4 locks. However, you have to be very careful because there's tons of small details on both sides between the shell and the frame, especially as you can see here on this side. I already primed them, but there are 4 locations here, here and here to insert a small tool like this one, for example, to open your model, and then you just simply fold the shell off. And you have to be careful because there's a lot of wires inside. You can see the see-through air vents and fans. There's a couple of wires going to front both ends of the locomotive for the headlights and interior lights. The model is already pre-equipped, pre-installed with LEDs. If you decide to disconnect, you have a micro connectors here to disconnect the entire shell, of course. Full metal body, 5-pole motor sitting right here, 2 flywheels on both ends, 2 shafts, industry standard pretty much drivetrain, You have a couple of boards on both ends with LEDs, and these LEDs are in different configuration, depends on the execution of model and arrangements of headlights. 22-pin SU decoder, I already have one installed. This is the baffle that is coming with the model for the 28 millimeters bigger speaker. This is bigger speaker than the original one that is coming with SU decoder, and included is also harness. If you decide to wire the speaker director board, here's the interface for speaker, and then you can solder the harness which is coming included to your speaker, or in case of SU, which is here, SU's decoders are coming already with 2 leads, and then all you need to do is just simply solder them to speaker, and that's the execution I have here. Very nice and clean design. And ready for a test ride. So this is the sound file and the programming available on SU website for the Euro4000. You can see included the actual prototypical picture as well. 21 functions included: manual notching, interior lights, and station announcements in 4 languages or 5 languages. I believe it's Spanish, Portuguese, Norwegian, German and French. And a quick test without the sound, just to see how well the drives are performing. And the Cargonet. They're a little bit more noisier than I would expect. But definitely within an industry standard. And the lights functions. Of course, headlights, interior cab lights for both of them, and of course in reverse you have the end of train markers, and with the 22-pin decoder you have the option, like here on the comsa, to turn the end of train lights off. Right, quick conclusion. My personal opinion, absolutely fantastic model. It's definitely one step up above mainstream Roco or Fleischmann. These models are available on the market already for a couple of years. The Cargonet is one of the earlier editions, and I bought it used on eBay from UK. However, the Comsa, the European Bulls, is a model that you can still buy from some of the shops in Europe. And my understanding is they are releasing these models as it goes with different paint schemes and under different operators. Some of the best commercially available models in a 300 to 400 euros price range, in my opinion. Thank you very much, and happy model railroading.